This is Reginal Drummer, the Peopleologist, and author of the book, Find Them, Focus, Follow Up, and Finish. This book, hot off the presses, you can find it everywhere where books are sold. Plus, you can come to our website, www.myheartshop.com/shop-1. For everybody that's purchased the book over the last couple of weeks and all the testimonies that we've got coming in, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody that's completed the 21-day challenge, we got some more of those coming up. And it's really helping people to find something to work on, especially in their business, and focus on it and follow up and finish. I just came off of a session over here downtown Atlanta with Latesh. We were doing a hair show, and it was interesting to see all the salons come out and scale their business up and do some business and make some things happen. This book is powerful, and I know Zach's going to ask me some questions because as a peopleologist, a lot of times people ask me this, man, what made you think about the book? What made you come up with that title? Well, a couple years ago, part of our Victory Over Violence. What's up there, Mr. Stephen Harrison? How you doing, my brother? Happy birthday to your dad. Oh, yeah. But a couple years ago, we had a part of Victory Over Violence was the group Dads on Duty. And Dads on Duty, we had to get the men kind of initiated and motivated. So one of the things that we did after looking at helping men help themselves, help their families, and help their communities, we had to come up with a training program for men. So part of the training program was focused on them finding their family. If they had children or kids, some men hadn't seen their children or kids in years, 15, 20 years. So part of it was to find them, focus on them, build some type of relationship, contact them, those type of things, at least know their birthday, some type of connection thing. And that was part of follow-up. So find them, focus, follow, finish became part of that. And we focus on training the men, empowering the men, and motivating so that they can be an effective part of the community. So that's really how we started. And we did that over a couple of years over at Adamsville, took it up to Cincinnati, and down in Orlando, where there's still some brothers that still practice some of those things that we put out there: find them, focus, follow up, and finish. Also, the book, we're so excited about it. But I got some questions that's going to be coming from the Mr. Zachary Simpson. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing fine. How you doing, peopleologist, Mr. Reggie Drummer?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Outstanding. I mean, when you feel this good, I mean, I should be ashamed how good I feel. Sometimes people ask, and why are you so happy? Why are you so fired up? Man, I feel like God.
All right. Well, I tell you, I
Yeah.
unapologetically, I have a lot of questions for you. I want to peel you open and open you up and share you with your audience and my audience. I know you always got something good and interesting to say. So that's what I want to do this evening.
Okay. Well, you got me on the hot seat.
And I ain't gonna hurt you too bad. I'm not gonna burn you too bad.
Okay, I'm ready for mostly anything. I'm kind of like we here, like Dion. I just heard my thing. I'm feeling good.
Yeah. Well, before we get started, I do want to congratulate you on your book. I had the pleasure of being around you on an occasion where you had a chance, where you promoted your book, promoted yourself, and I enjoyed that. And I got the book myself. I read it. Congratulations on that. Is this your first book that you published?
Yes. Well, I did do something called Renew Your Mind. back in 2000, but it was smaller than the Final Focus Follow Finish page. It was just I think it was just one word. I made 50 copies, and believe it or not, I sold made 100 copies, and we sold all 100 copies.
So what
So,
is it like? What was it like? And how do you compare those two instances where you did publish?
oh well, that was actually, this one is my first published book where you get the barcode. And I thank my lady friend Latish for getting all that information, for us getting it on Lulu, uh, all those places and spaces where books are sold. When you Google Find Them, Focus, Follow, Finish, you'll find it in many, many spaces. So that was a catalyst for moving and motivating me to do it.
Okay, okay. So we want to get started, and we want to just chat with you. We're not no harm, no foul, and just want to chat with you. And people see you consistently every morning presenting yourself, your platform, and I'm sure they want to know a little bit more about you. So uh, and hopefully we got some folks that may want to chime in and ask some questions themselves. So starting off, Reggie, who is Reggie Drummer, and how do you view yourself?
Oh, well, I have to look at myself from a third person or inner person, and I've been doing that for so long. That person is Remer Cryptap Laniger. That's actually my name spelled back. So,
Only Reggie.
so, so, in order to look at who I am, I know in the bio it says, and I'll read what it says: Reginald Patrick Drummer is no ordinary man. He
Hmm.
burst into the world on January 15th, 1959, in Albany, Georgia.
Hmm.
3 years after his twin brother, Gregory Paul. From an early age, Reginald has been a keen interest in people, and he has since become a self-taught peopleologist. So we coined the phrase almost, 30 years ago, peopleology. And it's
Hmm.
people, which is the study of people. Uh, the greatest creation that the Creator has is people.
Hmm.
And without people, your life is it just would be bored
Hmm.
because you need other people around you to actually change your direction because every day people do something different. But
Hmm.
anyway, as a peopleologist, I've been in many positions where I was able to sit with people and not necessarily study people, but I would put myself in a position as though I came from another planet, and I would talk to people, find out who they were, and listen to them because a lot of people never listen to nobody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just come in and just tell them what they want, and they never get an opportunity to listen to people. So uh, we listen to thousands and thousands of people.
I think you're pretty skilled at listening. I had an opportunity to be with you, earlier middle last week, and we chatted about a lot of things. And I left a bit more impressed, with you than I've always been. And what is it that you like about uh, 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 people, and or do you learn and find out talking to people?
Well, I grew up rather quiet, shy, somewhat reserved. So I was always in a position of listening more than I was talking.
Hmm. Hmm. You paying them
uh,
back now, ain't you? Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's a payback now because when I go home, they say, "Man, I didn't know you had that much to say." But listen, I would talk a lot in my house. Oh, oh yes, I would
Hmm.
talk a lot more in my around my family. Matter of
Hmm.
fact, in my family structure, they called me Rex. That was a name my grandmother gave me.
What is that?
So I was Rex, Rex.
Okay.
So that was, inside the house, I was like the life of the party. But when
Hmm.
I went to school, was kind of quiet. The only time I really did something exciting was in the band. I found
Okay.
music and started to play drums. And just to show you, my last name is Drummer, but I
Hmm.
never really associated drums with drummer like I do now.
Okay.
If I had done that, I would have played drums.
Okay. Okay.
And I played
So,
the trombone, and so I ended up, you know, being in all the bands, junior high, high school,
hmm
college, all that, and
hmm
you know, and
yeah. So,
but
so go ahead. Go ahead.
but music, and by being in a band, it helps you to understand people, because even without talking to people a lot, I never
Hmm.
talk, you know, but by being a musician, I could hear people play, because we talk with our instruments. A lot of other people were kind of shy, reserved, but they could play their horn or the drums or something like that. So
Hmm.
I would see the other side of people that could be expressed through music. So, words was one side, and then interpretation through music,
Uh-huh.
however they.
I hear you. Uh-huh. So let me ask you this. I hear who you say you are. How do you think others view you, perceive you, like your family, friends, audience, and other acquaintances? Do you get responses about you, your personality, compliments? What do other people say about you? Who do they think you are? Feel that you are?
Ah, well, that's an interesting question, because I go into a lot of places, and one of the things that we do kind of well is networking with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk about that a lot in the book, networking, how you meet people.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, always been able, and I think because I played in a band, I was able to work well with other people, you know. And so when people they look at me, uh, they tend to look at me as a people person, a good
Mm-hmm.
leader. And
Mm-hmm. Is that true? Mm-hmm.
early in life, I probably wasn't looked at as being a leader. I didn't get that
Mm-hmm.
in military.
How do you
When I
how do you feel about that?
well, the military actually puts you in charge of some people.
Mm-hmm.
And I had different personalities that I had to work with. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I had people that wanted to get kicked out of the Navy. I had people that wanted to rise up in the rank. I had people that wanted to backstab you. All these
Mm-hmm.
things,
Mm-hmm.
you was thrown into that, so you
Mm-hmm.
had to learn different leadership abilities. So one of
Mm-hmm.
the first uh, books that I read outside of history books uh, and other books was a book on leadership.
Uh-huh.
And I look at the different types of leadership, because I'm more of I can be like a coach, where I am, I can involve and help people come out better, uh, or I can be uh, I'm not an authoritarian type leader, where
Mm-hmm.
when I said this, do this, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've been more able to help people and lead people by earning their, I guess, and I hate to say the word loyalty, but respect and loyalty, you can't just go in and start doing it. I work I will work with guys, and I can actually go in and do work, and I can actually come up with techniques that are there to help them become better workers.
Well, Reggie, I've been around you and I observe you, and I hear what you're saying. uh, to me, you seem to be the type of person you make a person feel comfortable in their skin. You don't put any pressure on them. You don't put a whole lot of challenges on them, but you are there and you just have a way. You are empathetic. You know how to listen, and for it, folks are doing some things, or some of the outcomes that you maybe were interested in, there they are. So that's what I noticed about it. That's what I like about you.
Well, and that's an interesting point. Uh, you know, when people look at me, sometimes they think they say, "Man, that guy, he can't be serious. Okay. One of the biggest problems that I had when I first started working with dads on duty, a lot of people, people didn't even realize I'd been in the military. You know, a lot of them didn't understand my skill sets and all that. And I'm a very humble person, but I do know how to get things done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And sometimes we would have people come from different, guys say, well, drummer, if I'm gonna be a part of the organization, one thing men I already knew how to be on time. I'm always on time. So you didn't have to tell me how to be on time.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some guys, full grown men, that did not value time. They were always late.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things and part of leadership is knowing the weaknesses within your group, your
Mm-hmm.
organization.
Mm-hmm.
So finding out that time was not on their side, we had to come
Mm-hmm.
up with a mechanism. So what happened, we would start on time. Our meeting started right at 7 o'clock and we started
Mm-hmm.
rolling. Okay. And we would end about 7:30. So guys
Mm-hmm.
that dragged he came in late, especially when they had something they wanted to put out.
Yeah.
One of the things, when you find out what moves and motivates people, once you find out what moves and motivates people, you can get more out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you
That's
don't
true.
have to punch them, you don't have to threaten them. And my leadership style was more that way because as I talked to somebody, I found out what they would, what made them tick,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Y-
that's go
Yeah.
ahead.
So, yeah. So Reggie, if you got anybody that wanted to chime in, anything, we certainly want to give them an opportunity. But in the meantime, let me ask you: do you have a mission? Are you on a mission?
Ah, well, we all on a mission. I'm on a mission to live life, and life, living is for everybody. Uh, that's the acronym life.
Mm-hmm.
Living is for everybody. Once you find why you're here, and we found out why we were here a long time ago. A lot of people never get an opportunity to figure out their purpose. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, and I can say it somewhat genetically, generic. Uh, I'm here to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, uh, I get a lot of my needs done, and so my mission is to help people, and
Well, that brings. Yeah. Go ahead. Go
that's
ahead.
how
Go ahead.
Peopleology.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, you are an active and full service sort of guy. I noticed that you do a lot of things and more, way more than I thought you did. Well, what is that? What is that all about?
Well, anytime you serve people, or we've done a lot of things with people. Help people get jobs, help people that were in prison. We help men find their kids, and there's a certain type of satisfaction that money might not give you. But the
Mm-hmm.
satisfaction somebody said, man, you know what, drummer? Me and my son still talk.
Okay.
I can remember when we first met his son. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's little things like that when you talk to people. Or I remember a guy, he was on crack. He was on crack real bad. And he could cook. And he said, drummer, he said, one day I'm gonna get a job and I'm gonna be cooking. And believe it or not at a fancy restaurant, at a place, Crystals, you know. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and when he got a job at Crystals, guess what he did? He called me.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot these things. I used to get the sunrisers. Uh, and my lady friend's giving me some things here to focus on jobs. But let me do this. When he got his job at Crystal, he was one of the best cooks at Crystal. This was the brother that was on crack. He went to sleep in a driveway when it was snowing.
Mm-hmm.
So, to go in there and see him, the joy, it was just like I had won the lottery. So anytime you can help people, you
Yeah.
certain amount of joy from helping people. Even if I get depressed, I'm helping somebody.
Do you get depressed? I can't imagine you being depressed.
Oh yeah. Well, and I have to share this because I came up with a theory of living.
Mm-hmm.
When I wake up, I imagine the worst thing that could possibly happen.
Wow.
I mean, I'll wake up like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also imagine what's the best thing that can possibly happen. Now, the worst
Mm-hmm.
thing that could possibly happen to me is, guess what? I'm dead.
What? What?
That's the worst thing that could happen to me.
Uh-huh.
Best thing that can happen to me is that I get a pat on the back, and we do this every morning from the creator.
Okay.
Thumbs up, a pat on the back, and I'm alive, and I realize I'm living. So
Mm-hmm.
between those two extremes, and somewhere between the worst you feel about yourself and the best that you feel about yourself, that's where we exist. We somewhere in the middle. So
Okay.
I got two extremes, death and life. So I'm in the middle.
Okay. All right, then. That's a good place to be. So now look here, Mr. Reggie Drummer, peopleologist. Now I know that you serious and you articulate some very serious and things about people and whatever, but there is a humorous side to you as well. Now let me ask you this. Now, is that a tool? Is it a talent? A closet? Or is it just you?
Uh, so if you had to sum it up in language for people, it's a tool or a talent, okay? But it's just me. I
Mm-hmm.
found that through humor, I can get a lot of things done,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Now, and I can focus, sometimes, and not to get way out there, I feel like Deion Sanders. Now,
Okay.
he might be on the extreme,
Mm-hmm.
I've been blessed that when I go into a situation, usually I can outperform anybody in that situation. And I've been that way for a long time. Started in the Navy because I cross-trained on everybody's job. This was the way
Mm-hmm.
that I made money in the Navy. I
Mm-hmm.
trained on everybody's job. I'm talking about firefighting, nuclear weapons, and all this stuff. And I became pretty good at it. And I had to
Mm-hmm.
be good at it because anytime someone wanted to be off, you had to have somebody that was trained to replace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that was a way that I made money because people wanted, first time we would come back from a port or somewhere, people wanted to go out, do something. Well, I would be able to make money because I could do their job. So when I got into civilian this world, it was kind of hard for me to, because everywhere I went, I was always the best employee. Always.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
mean,
that's a good thing.
oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and you
Mm-hmm.
can generate some hate,
Mm-hmm.
because you come in, people say we don't work like that, but my work ethic has always been way up there, and starting some things. I've started a couple groups, networking groups. I started my own networking group. I would go to networking groups, and as a business owner, I would pull up and go in those groups and talk to people about their business. And I found that most folk didn't want to talk about their business.
Mm-hmm.
They was in those groups paying $5 and $10. So we started our own group.
Okay.
We would get people together and they would talk about their business. They would say, they give us their name. We had a little 5-10 minute, just a quick thing, probably like 30 seconds. My name is Reginal Drummer. My company is Tenomatic. And we focus on window tinting and graphics. I got a
But
message.
I'm sure people like that though.
Oh yeah, it's quick.
Yeah. Yeah. So look, I'm gonna jump around a little bit. Let me ask you this, Reggie. Um, you've been advocating, you've been active. You've been doing your shows for a long time. I've known you a long time. That's one thing I like about you. You're consistent. What has your show done for you and even to you?
Oh,
or being the activist person that you are, not only just your show, but your engagement in the community with people and your show on TV, and you're very popular. What has it done for you, and what has it done to you?
ah, well, it humbles you. And I have to just tell the story. Uh, I wasn't even thinking about a show. Actually, the Good News Show, uh, I was a guest and a sponsor of a show of Fred V. Man Watts from Victor Without. I was a sponsor of that show for years. Down at People TV, you couldn't give them money, but sometimes you can give them money. Make sure they got there. I provided transportation and food, so I was a
Mm-hmm.
sponsor. Okay,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and really, one day they didn't have no guests, and Fred said, "Reggie, uh, if you got a business, you need to associate your business with a cause." I was like, "Wow, okay."
Mm-hmm.
Never had victory over violence, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and working with people that had been victims of violence. So before you know it, I'm on the set talking to people about overcoming violence.
But
Doctors, psychiatrists,
that's the way we roll at People TV, wasn't
right? Yeah.
it?
And then people will come and ask about your opinion. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm a nonviolent person. I was born on Martin Luther King's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I was born, nonviolent. I can fight. I don't. But I choose not to.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's a part of learning, but part
Mm-hmm.
of the TV show really helped me to really think about what people, because
Yeah.
people see, I would see a lot of people in the Atlanta area.
Uh-huh.
They would say, "Man, I just saw you on TV,"
Mm-hmm.
and we hate uh, that was a valuable piece for the community. But I learned a lot over at People
Uh-huh.
TV. Yes.
Mm-hmm. 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 So let me ask you, are there instances or in particular guest or topic that has given you pause, both positive and negatively? You know,
Oh, well, yes. I think one of the most controversial shows I ever did, and I can't think of this uh, person's name, but this was a guy that had a sex change, and
mm-hmm.
it was radical. He had it long before Caitlyn Jennings, okay, and he had it I think around '86, okay. He had a
Mm-hmm.
total change,
Mm-hmm.
and so people called me and they were like, "Drummer, I can't believe you talking to that guy, this and that," and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Well, he's still a human being."
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, and I found out a lot by talking
Mm-hmm.
to him,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned a lot. So, when you can talk to people and you might not agree with them, you might not even like their point of view,
Uh-huh.
that creates another part. I also talked to a white guy that was out of Virginia that was a Klansman. And, I was kind of apprehensive. Couldn't get him on camera or nothing like that. But he was an ex-Klansman. Okay? He's a drummer. Where I grew up, we just didn't like black folk. He said nobody in my circle, my family, he knew his history. Great
Mm-hmm.
granddad on the Confederate side of the Civil War and all this type stuff. And I guess having a conversation with him, because I believe if you can have a conversation with people, and it can help
Yeah.
no
Mm-hmm.
matter what the belief system is. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not trying to beat them over the head. I'm not trying to convert them. I'm just trying to listen. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people would say, "Man, I wouldn't have gave that guy 1 minute."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and and,
Mm-hmm.
and I, I learned a lot. I learned a lot
Okay.
from the guy that had the operation. I learned a lot from the guy that was used to be in the Klan.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I interviewed a lady that had killed somebody,
Mm-hmm.
killed her husband, and you know but it was good to be able to talk to somebody, and then
Yes.
they let you know how they felt and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. So Reggie, uh, 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 do you have challenges? Are there challenges that you have?
oh yeah, not staying focused. I'll tell anybody. I'm probably, if you had to put something down, attention span disorder, I have whatever. I get headaches. I don't want
Uh-huh.
to do nothing. Uh, um, but I have to talk to myself, and in the person of Remer Laniger, I have to reassure myself
Uh-huh.
and motivate myself to do something. I've been self-employed for over 30 years. So I have to be the person to tell me to get up, and it can't be
Hmm.
money.
Okay.
Money not gonna make you get up out the bed. Money
Uh-huh.
not gonna make you get early. Money is not gonna make you do the customer. We talk about that in the book, doing the customer right, making sure you follow up with the customer. Money can't make you do that. You can pay somebody to do it, they wouldn't do it. So you got to have a bigger conviction to do certain things because that's what you want to do. Like I said, as a lover of people, it's an interesting thing. I can have compassion and empathy for people, and sometimes, I have to share this story with you. I was one of my first time talking to a large group of people. They had about 50 people in the room,
Hmm.
and this month is Domestic Violence Month, and
Okay. All
it
right.
was. I always remember it was October. So I hadn't really talked to a group other than in a multi-level marketing type situation.
Okay.
So, I'm a high profile, get them type person because I had learned that technique. We shooting the wounded and, no mercy. So I came in and I didn't realize because I hadn't really, took a snapshot of the audience. The guy didn't show up and the Fred told me, drummer, get up there and talk to these folks till I come back.
Hmm.
And everybody in there had some form of violence,
Hmm. Hmm.
something. Oh man, people had been raped, people had been shot,
Oh
left for dead,
man.
all kind of stuff. So when I
Yeah.
got there, uh, it sounded like I didn't care because the one of the ladies she called Fred up and she was crying. She said, "That guy that you had up, that drummer, that drummer, he's something wrong with him. He's talking about you can overcome anything. You can and probably if I had said it with a little bit of religious overtone,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you or
Okay.
something.
Okay.
Make a
And
lot more sense.
shed a little
But
tear or kind of, put out a handkerchief or something, and what, yeah.
but I came in there raw. Well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna tell you what happened. We came back and regrouped, and all those folk over a period of time, I was able to talk to all of them
Mm-hmm.
at a different level.
Yeah.
They tell me most of their most confidential stuff that they
Okay.
wouldn't tell me because
Hmm.
they knew I cared
Uh-huh.
about people, human
Yeah.
beings.
Yeah. So Reggie, if you could go back to any era in your life, any time in the past, where would you go and what would you say to that you?
Oh, well, if I look and I don't spend a lot of time daydreaming about the past, even though I had a good past. I think, but I probably would say to myself at different age groups. At 21, at 21, I was in the Navy. Uh, I probably, if I had to do something, I probably would have said uh, some of the things that I made mistakes on,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of dumb things. Because at 21, I hadn't done a whole lot of crazy stuff. I had been drinking,
You owed yourself, huh?
but I hadn't done a whole lot. And then
Uh-huh.
at 31, I could look at myself and say, okay, what at 31? What was the worst thing I did? Okay. I think somewhere around between 21 and 31, uh, I had a health challenge. I had an ulcer. And I said, man, I don't want that, because,
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I didn't drink nothing for like
Mm-hmm.
15 years. I just stopped just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so, you know, try to take care of yourself, at around 41, you know, went through divorce and different, 31, I probably got married. And then around
Uh-huh.
41, uh, and, talking to myself, I probably would have said, you know, certain things, but I can't think of nothing that I would really say that, any regrets. And I
Okay.
know that's hard for people to,
Mm-hmm.
something, because I had done nothing in my mind that was that bad. And then,
Okay.
but 41, I would say, you know, uh, focusing on, you can always say, man, I would have said, uh, save more money,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
buy stocks or something,
Okay.
but,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I would look at myself and say, man, live a little bit more. And I think
Okay.
I live a lot. And that would be it.
Mm. Well, let me ask you this.
Well, I say this: work hard, play hard, and stay out of trouble.
Okay. Okay. All right, Dan. Let me ask you this. What characteristics do you embody that you think others would do well to emulate?
Oh, uh, and I have to say this, and this did help shape me. A mild mannered temperament. Okay. Uh, some people can go off like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a temperament, and this started early. And believe it or not, I think I got that from comic books. Superman. Superman could be Clark Kent, and then he could be Superman. He could tear some
Yeah.
stuff up,
Mm-hmm.
but he had to realize who he was. So at an early age, I learned to control anger.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and the only way you can control anger, even at a young age, well, I got in fights, but I wasn't angry at the guy. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah, I'm saying wait, Reggie, so I understand
I
exactly what
probably
you're
could
saying.
kill. I could kill someone if I had to, but what I'm saying, I don't want to do anything out of rage. I learned
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
understand exactly what you're saying.
yeah, how to control my
Mm-hmm.
emotions. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I think most of the problems that people have come out of emotions.
So
Curse them out.
Reggie, did you just learn how to control your emotion, or did you feel like um, that you knew better, and because you knew better, it was incumbent on you to do better?
And yeah, that would be one thing, and not to make myself appear, over somebody in thinking like that. Because
No,
yeah,
but
I,
no,
I
no,
said,
because that's the way I felt.
yeah, but I'm not going to allow somebody having a bad day make me have a bad day.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me ask you something, Mr. Reggie. We're gonna move on. Now, do you have a bucket list of endeavors or program topics or personal and career uh, development things you uh, want to lend yourself to? And do you have a bucket list of things?
Well, yes. One was the book. I got a couple books. I've been writing for years.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and with the help of my lady friend, so we got to put some of this on paper. I mean, we wrote so much stuff, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it's been destroyed over years, just writing stuff down, poems, stuff, but just in theory, life lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Well, uh, I'm finishing up now. Uh, Find them, focus, follow up, and finish. Revisit it.
Okay.
Okay, it's a little bit more in depth than the first find them, focus, follow up, and finish. So when you think about a bucket list, things you want to do, there are a lot of things. Travel, uh, get around.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm an optimistic type person. So uh, if I won a lottery tonight, most of the stuff I'm currently doing, I'd still be doing it.
So let me ask you this: while we're at
Amplify.
this, hmm while we're at this point, is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to, or say thank you to, or hello to?
Yeah. Let me say hello to my lady friend. She's sitting here. She done
Uh,
wrote me notes and things like this to stay focused on. Because uh, Letitia, I like to say, because we had she's doing her 30-day project, and I think we implemental in helping people do projects. One of the things I've always been able to do is come up with projects for people to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I say shout out to my son Chris, my all my brothers, my dad, family, everybody out here, Facebook, the good news, we're Reading Land, uh, names are too numerous, but I think the biggest thing that I can say shout out to, or part of my bucket list, is just living life as full as you can.
Mm-hmm. Mm. So look here. So assure your lady that I got you covered. Ask her how I'm doing so far, and I got
Ah,
some, and we ain't done yet.
okay.
So let me ask you this, Reg. What matters to you? What matters to you?
Ah, okay. That's a good question. Um, what matters to me is things that I can change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I run my mouth about a lot of stuff. I talk politics. We'll talk about, but what is Donald Trump and all these indictments, the political system.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if something matters to me, I'm gonna be working on it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And things that matter to me are uh, communities, like
Mm-hmm.
family, the community. One of the
Mm-hmm.
reasons I focus hard on the community, because as a black man in America, uh, you know, I'm I have to, and then I got sons, nephews, cousins, all these. So I have to. One of my biggest focus is how they say Black Lives Matter, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, I have to. I'm an advocate for people that look like me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm also uh, focused on anything I can do to help our people come out of a particular situation. That's whether it's spiritually, mentally, physically, socially, financially. So I found myself doing a lot of things, a lot of groups and organizations that focus on helping people.
Yeah. Great, 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 Reg. So let me ask you this, Reg. What issues in the daily news cycle are you most impacted by and interested in?
Oh, you wouldn't even believe
Try,
it.
try me.
I get the newspaper for one reason only, to play Sudoku.
Okay. Woo.
Now, but I do pay attention to things in the news. Okay.
Mhm,
Uh, I look at patterns in the news, and I try not to look at the news before 10 o'clock.
mhm,
Okay. I have to have myself spiritually, mentally, and physically ready to see the news. So I play Sudoku or scratch off a puzzle or something. But I'm also meditating. And what topics, when I look at local news, I'm looking at things that happen. I live on the south side of Atlanta,
mhm.
and I'm not saying I'll just walk the streets but I feel comfortable. You know, we walk down Bankhead, Old Simpson Road, East Point, College Park, all of them, and I find that people are good.
Mhm.
And it might disturb me when I see the news always uh, presenting a certain type of narrative when it comes down to black males.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
I've had talks with some of my white and Asian and Indian buddies that some people will come ask me like I'm representing the whole black race. They say, "Well, Drummer, you're a little bit different," because I've had a conversation with them on something. I said, "Well, I didn't rob a store today,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't jump on nobody. I didn't beat nobody up. I didn't curse
Yeah.
nobody out." Now that's a lot of pat on the back type thing, but I know people do that.
You
But
you remember the conversation we had with the lady when we was in Selma, the Asian lady?
oh yeah, because she hadn't seen a lot of black people,
Yeah.
and some people hadn't. Just like I said with the Klan guy, when he said, I ain't never talked to a black man longer than I talked to you.
Mm-hmm. So hey, Reg. So time is up, passing. So I got some things I'm gonna give you some topic areas, and you just give me a little rundown, and we'll keep going because I know time is passing. Okay.
Okay, okay.
So youth,
Youth.
yeah, youth.
Oh, young people. Oh, yes. Every time I see a young person, I got to say something to either inspire or motivate. What's up, Troy Strain? I mean, most of the time, I try to say something positive to a young person because when I was growing up, somebody old always said something positive to me. They didn't just hit you up with the negative. So for the young people, they are future. So I try to encourage young people.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. Men.
men,
Mm-hmm.
well, there, and I had to come to this conclusion. At first I said, well, we need more alpha men. But I think we need more masculine men. Alpha men are men that go out, hunt, and take over. I think the alpha male has really spoiled the planet. Okay. This is why, without lending anything towards race, but, you know, uh, the masculine man, which is a man, but he's got some degree of compassion. He 100% man. If I had to list the prophets, what is Yeshua, Jesus, Buddha, I could say they were masculine type men, not
Uh-huh.
alpha. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
look at procreating and just leaving a bunch of babies all around and hurting, taking over, and crippling, and building empires. That type stuff. So
Okay.
I would say men uh, need to relook and reevaluate how they look at themselves, and then that way it shows up into the family and the community. So when
Um,
men
Go ahead.
become, and I say be more masculine and less wanting to dominate, because we get
Okay.
so ego bound that we won't do any good because we just fussing, fighting, and not making anything happen, and we losing the next generation.
Okay. Since we're in that area, faith and church.
Oh, faith in church. Uh, from a spiritual standpoint, I've done study, probably by the time I was 30, I had read the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, and I saw a lot of similarities, and I've been, uh, you know, those discovery years, whether it's Scientology, I read Aaron Hubbard, a lot of just spiritual people,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and so my belief system is that there is a higher purpose, a higher being, but it's not like what we think it is. You know what I'm saying? And I
Mm-hmm.
by making it more man-like, we put it in a position where it's like us. It's like it's we are a part of it because it's
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was here before. It'll be here.
Mm-hmm.
All that. But
Mm-hmm.
I think, especially the black male, because our position when it comes down to religion has been touched and tampered with. You know,
Mm-hmm.
most of us, and we did a whole show about that. We didn't start branching out until after World War, maybe the 30s, when Elijah Muhammad uh, brought Islam, and we started looking at other means of representing ourselves when it came to a higher being,
Okay.
God. what
Yeah.
have you, even the
Yeah.
days of the week in which we worship.
Yeah. So, Reg, we're gonna do a blitz here because times are passing. We're gonna do a blitz. So, uh, 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 community,
Oh, it's nothing without us.
um, um, civics in you.
Civics. Part of
Yeah.
civics is understanding how communities are built and get involved in the civic parts of the community, which is nothing but people.
Being a good neighbor.
Uh, I am my brother's keeper.
Politics.
Uh, Politics rule everything. Everything is political.
Education.
Education, whether it's physical training, but the higher education that we have with understanding or overstanding, the better we handle so many things. Whether it's creating jobs, communities, the more aware education is being aware, doing the right thing at the right moment, at the right time, at the right place for the right purpose. That's education.
Technology.
Technology is always moving forward. It's changed. That's all it is.
Uh, uh, Trajectory that many of us are on.
Ah, it's dependent on you, how you wake up, how you feel about yourself. Uh, you can change the trajectory if you focus using the 4 F's, find and focus, follow, and finish. You can change your life just like that. Just make a decision.
Uh, 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 Contributing, volunteering, donating.
We all have to give back. And the reward is not always money or a thank you. The biggest reward is being able to do something for somebody and they don't even know that you did it for them.
Technology.
Technology is here. Uh, we got to embrace it. We got to embrace change. Technology, when used properly, can enhance your capability.
Okay, and Reggie, uh, I can't believe it. I'm almost running out of questions, but I tell you,
Well,
you pretty
I can
good.
go quick.
You pretty
I
good,
can
buddy.
go fast.
And
Yes, sir.
let me ask you this. Uh, uh, you like you gave me the an acronym for your name and stuff. The drum and beat. Uh, what's the template for matriculating through your endeavors and personalities and encounters? What's the drum and beat? Drummer
Well,
beat.
as a drummer, and I've had this conversation within my family structure. Like I said, early in life, I had no connection between the name drummer. I think the first time I looked at the name drummer and another name was doing, they wanted me to take an X in the nation. I said, I ain't changing my name. I like drummer. But I think drummer, the name, see, when the drummer is part of the band, okay? If I've heard so many genres of music, but one thing you can do, you can get a drummer that can play with anybody. The
Mm-hmm.
same drummer can play at church, he can play in a rock band, he can play in a funk band, and he can play classical. See, a drummer can keep the time and be in the pocket. So as a drummer, and literally a drummer, and with the name drummer, I can, sometimes they say, well, you can't be all things to all people, okay? But as a drummer, because I can listen and I can get in the pocket with you, I can feel the groove.
Yeah, is there a correlation? So you've been aware of this correlation between your name and your personality.
Yeah. And you can build something. I wrote something about the drummer. I can't even. It was a poem or something, but that's what it was based around. The fact that I can sit down on the drum set, and I don't care uh, what type of music is being played. A waltz, the 1, 2, 3. I can. A drummer can keep time.
Mm-hmm.
no matter what the band is, the bass player doesn't set the time.
Mm-hmm.
The pianist doesn't set the time.
Mm-hmm.
Guitar player doesn't set the time, nor does the horn player.
Mm-hmm.
It's the drummer.
Okay.
Drummers get a drummer some. James said it all the time.
Okay. Reggie, uh, are there some things or any particular thing that you can or want to share with us that we can look forward to?
Oh, yes. Well, definitely, I want everybody to check out my book, Find and Focus, Follow Up, and Finish. That book was written for business people. And unlike a lot of books, I didn't go into talking a lot in that book. We went straight into the 4 F's. Find them, focus, follow up, and finish. And their relationship to a person in business. So I would encourage people to get that book. And that book can also be applied in your personal life. Because once you find something, or why, I don't care what it is, your why has got to be so big, the facts don't count.
Okay.
What's going on the left, the right, and that's what focus does. We got a 21-day challenge in the book. And part of that 21-day challenge is laser beam focus. When you get laser, I don't care what it is you want to do. You want to change your trajectory, you want to change your position in life, you want to get ahead, anything. Just by doing that, finding it and writing it down. Once you write it down, man, it becomes scripture.
Mm-hmm.
You can walk on the words. And then you start focusing on, just like with me, I read the book every day. I'm getting it 3 to 4 times a day. And one of the goals, when we first went on the initiative to sell 100 books in 21 days. Well, we sold 93 books. Okay. Now the next time we sold about 40, but I think we sold less than 40 books. Yeah. Now, some people hit you say, man, you were not successful, but I feel like Deion Sanders. That's the worst you're going to see us do.
Yeah. Hey, Red.
Yes, sir.
Our time is winding down. I want to say, man, I have really enjoyed covering you, peeling you back like I do my bananas, exposing you to the community. And right quick, Rich, do you have a final word?
The final word is love yourself, love your creator, love people, and do something that's lasting. What you do for other people is lasting. Mm-hmm. People won't remember a lot of times what you told them. Mm-hmm. But they'll remember what you did.
Well, I want to say to the community, to the people, people, you heard it firsthand from the Peopleologist.
Yes. See that People TV. Oh, Harper Park. Oh, man. Oh, let's say they drop. See, they dropped some footage on us. I forgot about it.
That's great.
Stuck one on it.
Oh, yeah.
Brothers and sisters out there.
I might have been there with you at that particular function.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Give back.
God bless you. So we gonna do that on look how hard it is to find this
Making me hungry.
For your birthday?
Yeah.
Oh man. 50.
Happy birthday.
No, don't man. Black man making past 50, boy. You got something. What's your testimony? What you got to share with folks?
Life go fast. Play your own life. Stay in your own life.
What? You see life go fast and stay in your own lane. Fast.
Just the other day, I was 49.
Okay.
I was 39. I look up again, I'm 50 years old.
What's your name, big brother? Where you from, country?